Okay, little story time today. We're gonna let the cat out of the bag. It's time to really tell my story, and it's a long one. There's a lot. It's wild, but we're gonna start with a big origin story of an event that led to me becoming an artist. It was a huge slap from the universe saying, go that way. And I listened. And I wrote it in a short story from my upcoming book. Currently, you can get a small version of this in the Layer Club. But I dive into this story. It's wild. And it's part of that proof, that continual proof that I get from the creative spirit that tells me to go for art. And ultimately, it could be a little lesson for you in how even our greatest failures lead us to our greatest successes. So let's dive in. It's a short story that opens up Layer Club, titled Half Inch from a Wheelchair. Change is forever, the true constant, the tried and true, always in progress. If you look back, you can see the many lives you've led. One becomes the next, a spiral upward to understanding. Each prior life informs the coming, either clay to be added or marble to be stripped away. The art of who we are waits to be created. I too am no different. Many and numerous lives past, all equal in the whole of who I am. Like an old hat rack sitting dusty in the corner, laden with hats, each one from a time and place. Today, let's put on one of the heaviest hats I've worn. Snowboarding was a dream, the earliest I chased. Naturally gifted at it, I took to it like a duck to water. Quickly, it became all-consuming. I shaped life around it, placing all my hopes and wishes in it. It was to be my career. Sponsorships came. Doors began to open and the road was clear. Everything was so certain in this direction. Other priorities took second seat. Schoolwork, college, and friendships, all blurred out of focus. Even art. The whole dream was there for the taking, the it crowd waiting, and I was all in, causing me to push further, fly higher, and go bigger, or go home. There was no plan B. As I graduated high school, the plan was simple. Snowboard, get paid, repeat. Oh, the ignorance of youth. Nothing is ever that simple. Life is the long and winding road. There I stood at the top of a mountain, on a glacier, in the middle of summer, ready to pounce, to make the most of this, to live the dream. It was 1997 in Whistler at Craig Kelly's summer snowboard camp, the early proving grounds for many great snowboarders. I was there to prove myself, to show my stuff. It was an informal scouting league. My performance was paramount, the make or break, literally. The entire week had been going great. I could see the finish line. All the connections were made. Success was just a phone call away. Time to strut my stuff, peacock, if you will. Strapped in, staring down at a massive tabletop jump, one I'd been blasting off all day, fully prepared to keep pushing the limits and go as large as possible. Nothing could go wrong. I was invincible. I was youth. With a quick turn, I pointed the board, one vector point locked in, the lip of the ramp. No speed checks, no turns to slow me down, just straight blast off. Rocketing towards the jump, set for another dance with adrenaline, I charged ahead, unaware the tide had turned. The luck had run dry, only I didn't know it. The second the board reached the takeoff ramp, I lost control. Speed chatter caught my legs off guard. All balance was lost. I started heading in the wrong direction. A split second later, catapulted me high into the air. Time dilated and went into slow motion. Stuck helpless, writhing like a fish caught, trying desperately to right my mistake, I slowly rotated upside down, staring fearfully at what lay below. There was no soft ground. No slope to roll down, just a hard, flat sheet of ice. Another fraction tipped by. 30 feet to go. Tick. 20 feet left. Tick. 10 feet closer. Tick. 0 and black. Slowly, the curtain rolled back to reality. My ears were ringing with a sharp feedback. Vision blurry, heat searing, burning heat, muffled voices. Who's there? Time closed tighter. Gradually, the record began to spin again. Vision came back into focus. My friend Goodwill stood over me. His lips were moving, but everything sounded as if we were underwater. Mumbling became audible. I heard the words, "Don't move." Awareness trickled over me. That's when the issue said hello. Remember that heat? That fire? Now it was its turn to speak. Screaming from the core of me, a wildfire in the center of my being. It was dire. Nothing would be the same. I was broken. Invincibility lay dead at my feet, barely able to breathe. A sudden dread choked my throat. Was I paralyzed? With apprehension, I focused on my toes. At first, no response. Shit. Try again. What's that? A flicker? A twitch? It moved. Thank God. That means I'm not paralyzed, right? No idea. This isn't good, though. We're in serious trouble. What do we do? The answer? Nothing. Lay there and wait. No big deal. We got this. What's that? Did you forget? That fire waiting, building, growing in strength, angry, vengeful, hate-filled, relentless. Each passing minute, the pain multiplied. Never before or ever since have I felt such pain. Description does no justice. Words fail. Clawing, tearing, boiling, shattering radiance, suffocating tension, choking anxiety, a broad sword straight through your being wrapped in fire, blistering, bone-charring heat, the kind that leaves only ash and the scar of memory. An eternity passed. I wished only to escape the pain, but that was not the case. This was my burden to bear. No hiding, no running away. Blurry figures passed by, concerned onlookers, yet Goodwill stayed, reassuring me, giving me comfort and solace. Thank you. Even the smallest grace can bring light to the darkest room. Eventually, the medics arrived. Here begins the long journey to the homecoming on Capitol Hill. Remember, I'm in the middle of a glacier at the top of Whistler. It's also summertime, which means the mountain is not fully operational. It takes nearly 2 hours to get to the top and reach the glacier on a good day. This was not a good day. Not to mention Whistler has no hospital, meaning Vancouver would be my final destination, a city 2 hours to the south. The ski patrol started by strapping me to a backboard. If you've never been backboarded, consider yourself lucky. You're not missing out. Trust me, they suck. They are the opposite of comfortable, especially when injured. Next step, place the backboard in a toboggan. Now drag that toboggan to the rope tow. More dragging, this time uphill and bumpy. Sometime later, you're at the summit. Time for a nice cross-country ski traverse on a cat track. Don't worry about me, I'm just the dude strapped in a backboard and a toboggan, stuck in the middle of some life-altering injury. Please feel free to hit every bump possible. Each one feels great. The cat track leads us to the first chairlift of the day. Wait, what? Hang on, we need to wait for the MediChair. You know, silly, the one specially designed to hold backboards. Look, it's here. Time to strap you in. Okay, looks secure. See you at the bottom. It never dawned on me how much chairlifts rattle. Take my word for it, they do. Oh wait, it's slowing down. We've reached the bottom of the first chair. We're also out of the snow, quarter of the way down. Wonder what fun ride is next. Did you say suburban? On a dusty gravel Forest Service road? Seriously? Yes, look, there it is. How's this gonna work? Easy. Open the back doors and just slide the backboard right over the seats. Oh, you mean the top of the seats, like hauling a surfboard. Hey, did I mention I love surfing? Sorry, trying to distract myself from reliving this little memory. All right, we're in. Shut the doors, throw in four high, and let's rip. Ever notice how jarring gravel roads can be, especially the washboard parts? No? Cool. Me too. This was a good dirt road, too. The kind that rattled your fillings out. Joy. Look, there it is. What's that? You know, the mid chair. You mean we're not there yet? Nope, but you're at least halfway there. Hang on, though. We need to wait for the medi chair. Oh, good. It's here. Let's strap you in. By this point, you might think I was numb with pain, dulled by the shock of the experience. Wrong. It was still there, but worse. It seems the little joyride had only pissed off the monster clawing at my back. Hang on, the chairlift is slowing down. We must be there. Well, sort of. You're almost at the gondola. What's that sound? Oh, that's a four-wheeler. Wait, what? Yeah, we need to strap you on this thing so we can haul you to the gondola. Haul? What am I, firewood now? Haha, don't worry. We'll be there in a jiff, bud. That's right, you guessed it. Four-wheelers, also very bumpy. And remember, all I've been able to see this whole time is the view of whatever ceiling is above me. Clouds, trees, tow ropes, chairlift cables, suburban roofs. I had no idea what was coming next the whole time. Hey, it's the gondola, nearly there, bud. Let me guess, medi chair? Hey, you're getting the hang of this. Okay, happy to report, gondolas are actually quite smooth. I'll take any victory at this point. All right, my guy, we're at the bottom. Time to get you on the stretcher and chuck you in the ambulance. Then it's off to the clinic to get you patched up. Am I an old tire now? You're quite the comedian there, sport. The medics arrive. Thank God, some professionals. They'll have some answers. They can help with this pain beast. Please describe the pain to me. ... Okay. ... How did this happen? ... The clinic is no good. They won't be able to help you. We're taking you to Vancouver. It's a quick couple hours down the road. Sound good? I mean, it took everything in me not to scream. But what could I do? Except lay there in pain. Yep, that's right. The pain was still there. It was worse. Marathon worse. With no ending in sight. The medics couldn't even give me anything for it. Some Canadian bylaw thing, who knows? They tried laughing gas, which was the cruelest joke of all. Eventually, we made it to Vancouver. By this point, I was a raging asshole. The pain was even tired of being there. Everybody sick of everybody. They wheeled me into the hospital, screaming in anger. I was over it. That's when they blasted me with morphine and the curtains were drawn black again. The next few weeks were a blur. Hospitals, another long ambulance ride to a hospital in Washington. More nurses, more doctors, some paramedics, family and friends consoling me. The blur of the morphine drip. But I'll never forget the x-rays. Up to that point, I had no idea if I would ever walk again. Sure, I could wiggle my toes. There was some sensation from the heart down, but there wasn't any official prognosis. I remember it clearly, crystal, even under the haze of medication. The doctor walked in, pulled out the x-rays, and put them on display. You're lucky, son. Dramatic pause. Look here. I stared blankly at the x-ray of my spine. He pointed at a large bone near the base of my spine. It had a glaring crack in it, easily a half-inch wide. See this? This is your L1 vertebrae. It's nearly split in two. The only thing holding it together are the spinosus processes. He then explained that the spinosus processes are little bumps you can feel when you run your fingers along your back. We call this a chance fracture in the biz because it was only a slim chance that kept you from being paralyzed from the waist down. Yes, that means paraplegic. The words rolled over me like a house being demolished by a tornado. He then quickly explained the recovery process. Simple. No surgery, Just lay there, don't move, and wait for your body to heal itself. He finished by saying, "You are very lucky. Few come this close to being paralyzed and walk away." The intensity of that comment took months, even years, to set in. Grateful that I could still walk, it was time for some serious self-reflection. Was the path I'd chosen right? Maybe pro snowboarding wasn't the way. If I'd already had an injury like this early in my career, how long would it last? Was it worth the price? The answer was a resounding no. Back to the drawing board. Where to go from here? I'd already coasted through high school, banking on a snowboard career, meaning college would be a long, slow uphill climb. What career was even worth pursuing? Doctor, lawyer, engineer? No thanks. What skills did I even have? Wait a minute. Am I being taught a lesson? Is this a sign? I've always had a knack for this art thing. Maybe. But everybody says you're a loser if you try for an art career. The only time your work is worth anything is after you're dead. Do you really want to be a starving artist? Nonetheless, that was the decision made, lying there in the bed. The choice was clear, maybe just frosted glass clear, but that was good enough for me. Everything felt right about it, even with no clue about how to make it happen. It would take 11 years from that point until I finally surrendered to that path, letting go of the what ifs, the hows, the whens, and the whys. The journey was long, slow, and winding, but I held fast, cemented in conviction, knowing that persistence, patience, and perseverance find the milk and honey. What did I have to lose? Every day I could wiggle my toes was a gift, a fact I have never taken lightly. I am gratitude walking. That day, July 11th, 1997, 7-Eleven, changed the world forever. The invincible, starry-eyed child was gone. In his place, a being here to make the most of every last drop took the wheel, a boy named Conan, a simple soul with a found necklace, who made the second right choice. This moment was the first step in the right direction. What unfolded from there doesn't even seem real, but it was. Vivid beyond the wildest fantasy, proving to me that fiction falls short of fact every time. Know the saying, a man must break his back to earn his day of leisure, and you will know the meaning of gratitude. Thank you.